I know. Welcome back to the show. April Madison joins us in studio this morning. Good morning, April.
Good morning. Happy Friday.
Man, walked out the door this morning and it was already like, oh, I mean, it wasn't even that hot, but it was already just like,
You're in trouble if that's hot.
I know. I do have weather-related questions coming up, so we'll get to this in a moment.
Okay.
First off, though, I want to talk about dry lips leading to a sticky situation.
Much more important.
A frightened woman on the phone could only grunt as she pleaded for an ambulance to be sent to her home.
Could only grunt?
Yeah. Let's see. The call about midnight yesterday sparked fears that the 64-year-old woman was being held captive, but it turns out that she had accidentally superglued her lips together.
Well, that's why she sounded like someone had taped her mouth shut.
The ambulance received the call, but due to the muffled speech, they were unsure whether it was a medical event or someone who'd been gagged. Basically, she could only grunt. Ambulance staff called the police.
I heard that.
Who went to the woman's home and found that she had mistakenly applied super glue to her lips instead of her normal medication.
Oh, that's kind of sad.
But really funny.
It's funny, but it's not like she, was high and... What? Oh. Can you imagine how hard it was to get that? Oh.
7:35. Welcome back to the show.
That had to hurt. You know that had to hurt.
So the 64-year-old woman, and she called 911 but could only grunt as she pleaded for an ambulance to come to her home. Ambulance received a call, but due to the muffled speech, they were unsure whether it was a medical event or someone who had been gagged. The ambulance and staff called the police, who went to the woman's home and found that she had mistakenly applied super glue to her lips instead of her normal medication.
I want to know, does her normal medication look like super glue? I mean, that seems like a
She got up in the middle of the night,
mistake.
In the dark, grabbed what she thought was a tube of medication.
I guess so.
It was extremely frightening event because she couldn't breathe either. How much did she put on?
Well, maybe her nose was stopped up.
I mean, did she glue the whole thing? Grab a toothpick, pop a hole. Like, come on.
That stuff hurts. It hurts. Have you ever gotten your fingers? Have you ever? You're such a turd. Have you ever gotten your fingers super glued together by accident?
Sure.
Okay, just barely trying to pull that apart hurts. Could you imagine your sensitive lip skin?
Come on.
That had to hurt. And I'm sure if it was whatever medical she was supposed to be putting on there, she probably puts on a lot of it. So I bet she just, like chapstick.
Slathering it on like it's going, let's rude trap, rude.
I'm sorry. I shouldn't be laughing. That's sad.
She was probably all stoned from sucking in the fumes. She's all huffing the super glue. Oh, now she's high and she can't speak. I'm so high right now. I can't talk.
You sound like you're huffing something over there. Right?
I've heard of a few other things superglued, but never lips. You wouldn't have wanted to have a blocked nose, so.
She could have died.
Could have died.
If she had a blocked nose and she couldn't breathe. What do? I guess you rip your lips open at that point. You just deal with the pain.
Yeah, that's right. You just grab one and you tear.
What do you do again?
And go, yeah, that's what you do. No, I don't think I've told you this story, but I know I've told the story on the air before when I was living by myself in an apartment.
You have a lot of living by yourself stories.
Yeah, most of them.
It's a miracle you are still here.
It's a miracle I didn't wind up in prison.
That too. Dead or in prison. I
had a spider problem in the apartment I was living at, amongst other things, and they were in my bathroom, and so I had bug spray, and this was in the 90s, and so I had longer hair than what I do now, and I had Aquanet there, a hairspray on the counter. So I'd gotten
product.
I'd gotten out of the shower and I grabbed the bottle and
Well, this doesn't smell very good.
Smells like pine. Why does it smell like pine?
That's not as bad as I would expect bug spray to smell.
It was bug spray, yeah. Although I will say this much, it kept
But you didn't have any bugs in your hair.
I kept my hair up a lot better than the Aquanet ever did. Talk about waterproof. I had perfectly coiffed hair for
2
a
weeks.
week. Yeah, for a long time. It was really good. Still is.
Still working for you, isn't it?
It is. We just keep cutting. It
You
just
keep
sticks in there.
snorting. It's hysterical.
There's no way she glued all of her mouth shut.
No, if it's
That didn't
think
happen.
about how you apply anything on your lips. You don't just kind of dab a little. If it's chapstick, you put it on.
I wonder how many of those moves she could do before it's sealed. When she went, "Mwah, mwah." You know when you do that? When you put the chapstick on?
Not
you
many. It's so something that you would have done when you lived by yourself. That's why you find it funny. Because you're just lucky that didn't happen to you.
Man, this woman's got stories now for what remains of her life. So
That's true.
Oh, she's 64. And
Well, that's not that old.
I know, but still. Older. I gotta make myself feel better. That guy over there's never heard Thomas Dolby, She Blinded Me with Science. And neither of them have ever heard of Erasure. I know! Thank you.
You're fired.
I know.
Leave the building now.
I grabbed it for a
I
parody.
didn't feel old until you said that.
I grabbed it for a parody this morning, and it's playing, right? And he's just stone cold. While Thomas Dolby's She Blinded Me with Science is on, I go, who in the world can sit in a room with Thomas Dolby, She Blinded Me with Science, and not at least crack a smile? Somebody
and he's
who's-
like, "You're what hurts?"
Somebody's never heard that song before,
What
Ken.
did you say?
What is this guy talking about?
It happens to me every Friday. I do what I call Music Friday down in the studio. In between breaks on Friday, I blast the stereos with just different music. And Karen, young, lovely Karen,
Yeah.
never has a clue what I'm playing. She's like, "Can't we get some Beastie Boys up in here, or maybe some, And I'm like, "Well, I'm impressed you know that, But
Yeah, you bring out the first album. She's like, what is that?
Who is that?
What is this No Sleep Till Brooklyn? I don't understand. What is Brass Monkey? I don't, what is this?
Right?
What is this song? It's so weird. It's Beastie Boys.
Oh,
What?
Yeah.
I don't understand.
But then, I kind of...
You got to fight for your right to what?
And I'm kind of in the in-between, because then there's older floor crew that are like, "Play this," and I'm like, "Play what?
Yeah, Boss Gags.
Who? Who?" And I'm like all trying to Google, what are these people?
Play some Credence, huh?
We've got some funny
Freebird.
mix with but see, I know all of those.
Yeah, I know.
You and I are same era, kind of. But yeah, no, it's interesting. It is interesting. But these folks in here would not know anything.
No, they don't, and it keeps...
He'd be like,
never
Britney Spears. Woo!
Never heard of John Tesh.
Little Justin Bieber.
I said John Tesh the other day with the joke,
Look,
and
Justin,
he was lost.
I'm young. I'm not retarded.
Watch it. Zero reaction. New Kids on the Block. Oh,
Now,
okay.
of
you
course
do
they know
Okay.
that. They were like 3.
Weather. What's going on? Oh, my God.
Mom was playing it in the background.
Hot enough to melt, super glue off lips today outside.
Probably could, actually. They would say, just go outside.
That joke would have been a lot better if I hadn't stumbled.
Yeah, I know. I was trying to go with you there.
And I appreciate it. You had my back, and I just kind
I
of...
was trying.